The Pope is the sovereign who leads the Catholic Church. Throughout history, there have been a series of extremely immoral popes, but also virtuous popes. According to Catholic tradition, since St. Peter began preaching the gospel and appointed as his successor a wise old man from Rome, St. Linus, the city became the seat of the universal church. At first, the successors of St. Peter were called only bishops of Rome. The title pope came into use many centuries later. Let's see together a list of the most violent deaths of popes throughout history. St. Peter, the first pope in the history of the Catholic Church, was one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. Arriving in Rome around 57 AD, Peter became the head of the Judeo-Christian community in Rome, where he met Paul again. He was arrested by the Roman Emperor Nero, and in 67 AD was sentenced to death and executed by crucifixion upside down at his request, to distinguish it from the way Jesus was crucified. Clement I was the fourth Roman pope between 88 and 97 AD. According to tradition, Pope Clement I was captured by Emperor Trajan, sent to the city of Chersonesus, in today's southern Crimea, and sentenced to work in a stone mine. He miraculously saved the prisoners during an accident, converting a large part of the imprisoned pagans. Saint Clement died as a martyr in 99 AD, being tied to an anchor and drowned in the Black Sea. The Emperor Valerian of Rome became the enemy of Christians, issuing two decrees against the Church. Pope Stephen I, while celebrating a Mass on August 2, 257, was immobilized by the emperor's men and was beheaded directly on the papal chair. The blood-stained chair was kept by the Church until the 18th century. Just a few years after the death of Stephen I, Sixtus II was elected as the new pope. Emperor Valerian issued a law requiring Christians to participate in ceremonies in honor of the Roman gods, but the pope refused. Then Valerian also issued a decree condemning Christian priests, deacons, and bishops to death. Pope Sixtus II was captured by the emperor's men and beheaded in 258. The nephew of a Roman senator, Pope John VII, became pope in 705. He only reigned for 2 years on the papal throne, as he dabbled in unholy matters. In 707, he was beaten to death by the husband of a woman the pope was sleeping with. I think he deserved it. He was pope for 10 years, 872 to 882, and was considered one of the most capable popes in the history of the Church. One evening, a relative of the pope visited him and poisoned his drink. Seeing that the poison was ineffective, he hit the pope in the head with a hammer until he killed him. Stephen VI is a famous pope best known for the dead man trial. He simply dug up his predecessor, Pope Formosus, placed his body on a chair, and organized a trial for him. This trial caused a great scandal at the time because Formosus' supporters, the powerful Spoleto family, deposed the pope, who was arrested and strangled to death in the summer of 897. John XII was one of the most diabolical popes the Church has ever had. He dealt in gambling, murder, incest, and theft. It is said that in his services, he invoked Satan and other Roman gods. Ironically, he suffered the same fate as Pope John VII, whom we mentioned above. John XII died in 964 because he was beaten by a jealous husband who found his wife having sex with a pope. John XXI was pope for a few months, but he was a good one, being also concerned with medicine and philosophy. He suffered an unfortunate accident. While he was lying in his room in the palace of Viterbo, Italy, a part of the roof collapsed on him. He died in agony 8 days later.